And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Mayfield throwing quickly out to Beckham. 4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
First carry for Nick Chubb, and he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7.
What we got? On your team.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. And he's got his man. That's Landry. That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup. So opening drive, 3rd down. They complete the slant to move the sticks.
And ordinarily, it's a high percentage pass when you throw it. And receivers like to run that route because it gets the ball in their hands pretty quickly. Just a couple of quick steps upfield, break towards the middle, the ball should be there, and then they can do some work afterwards.
Good. 180. Check 55, Mike. Watch the curve.
Now the first carry here for Phillip Lindsay. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 50-yard line.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Let's get this ball back to the offense. Let's go. Hurry. Let's go.
Mayfield now from the 50. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. This is caught inside the 15. 39 yards there, a big one.
Well, things are looking pretty darn good on this first drive, aren't they? Came right out, set the tone. This time with a big pass play.
And if the peek behind the curtain that they gave us or their game plan today, I don't think that's going to be the last one we see.
I think you're exactly right about that.
So now following the big play, they've got a 1st and goal all the way down at the 10. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he gets halfway home from the 10 to the 5 on a pickup of 5. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
Not only was that a terrific play, but that loss of yardage they created up this close to their own goal line, that gives them a little breathing room now as they move them back.
And they're breathing fire a little bit right now, aren't they?
A lot of confidence being shown by them at this point of the game.
Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's 3rd down.
Check 55 to mine. Check 55 to mine. Here we go.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Njoku pulls this one in. He's got it for a Cleveland touchdown. David Njoku, his first touchdown of the new season. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Austin Seibert on for the extra point. It's up and through to make it 7-0 Browns.
Makes the score Browns 7, Raiders 0.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
25-yard line.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. First rep of the game for Josh Jacobs. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
Hey, we're good. 180. That's it.
Now a first carry for Isaiah Crowell. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. That one a first down pickup of 8.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. In this defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Drop deep. That's it. 44.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now they'll throw with Carr. A screen complete to Crowell. Only a yard there. Sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up 3rd. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. Back deep, Jarvis Landry. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
You rarely call your punter a weapon, but he certainly was there. How about that? Pinning him down at the 1-yard line and helping out the defense in a big way. I'm telling you what, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I might be thinking safety right now.
The Browns drive about to get started. They scored a touchdown the last time they had the football, but things going to be a little bit more difficult this time.
Oh, certainly, because where they're starting, the goal isn't even thinking about a touchdown at this point. They're thinking about field position, a couple first downs in order to give some room for their punter and maybe flip the field position for their defense. One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size and these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Alert.
Out of his end zone, Mayfield. And he's got the hook up to Landry. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Now they can breathe a little easier, some room to operate as they've got it 1st and 10 now out past the 20. They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack, and he'll be brought down here at the 28. A solid run on 1st down, gain of 7, leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Mayfield off the play fake. He's going to loft one deep left side here. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Seibert on for the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0.
Makes the score Browns 14, Raiders nothing.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points. Get that 0 off the board.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 28-yard line.
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. On 2nd and 9, Carr. He's airing it out for Williams. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9.
Come to my work. Ready, 1. 44, Mike, 44. Ready, set.
From the gun, it's Carr. Forced out to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. Here's A.J. Cole now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The Browns drive about to get started, and they will start this drive with just terrible field position backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
1st down, Cleveland.
So that last play gives them a little more space now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. To throw, Mayfield. That's taken in by Callaway. And now nothing but green ahead of him. The 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Antonio Callaway, 84 yards. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And it is now 21-0.
Next to score, Browns 21, Raiders nothing.
set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one fielded at the 5. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
Let's go.
The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Myles Garrett. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now Carr. And the pressure gets to him again.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Now Carr. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. Now the screen only good for 3 that time, and it'll bring up a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Here's A.J. Cole now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Landry now on the return. Now after the punt on that play, we've got a man down on the field. We'll take a break and get a report from Oakland after this. The Browns drive about to get started. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
And he's got this down to the 35. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed, and he's able to get to the 2nd level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Chubb with a carry on 1st down. It's not going to yield much, maybe a yard. It's 2nd down. Jerry Hughes on the stop. Earlier this half, you were wondering how the defense was going to handle him defensively. Were they going to bottle him up at different levels, so to speak, is what you said. What have you seen so far?
Well, I think they've been absolutely terrific because it feels like on every play, if we were watching this in the film room, when you clicked off the film or stopped it, you would see 11 shirts of that same color right there in the frame trying to tackle him. That's what you're looking for.
He finds his target, Beckham. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. A gain there of 30 big ones. They come out here in the I. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll run with Chubb. And he'll get it down close to the goal line, but not quite in. Give him 3 on the gain there, 2nd and goal. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Second and goal from the 1.
Hey, D-line, let's get in there. Let's get in there now. Check 43.
They'll try again with Chubb. And he's in. Touchdown, Browns. Nick Chubb, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And the route is on here in this first half.
28, Raiders nothing.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Taco Charlton. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. On 2nd down, Jacobs. The tackle made that time by Bryce Callahan.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
So it's 3rd and long, and defensively, not a real surprise. They're in the dime. One more time, they'll keep it on the ground. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down. Here's A.J. Cole now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded at the 2. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line.
At their own 32-yard line.
The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. The throw over the middle, taken in. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That goes for a gain of 31. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. To throw his car, going for it all. That is caught by Brown. Touchdown, Raiders. Antonio Brown. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Raiders get a score closer. And Brown only 5'10", but that doesn't mean he can't make spectacular one-handed grabs like that.
He does it all, doesn't he? No matter what you do with Antonio Brown trying to cover him, he finds a way to uncover even late in a route, and a one-handed catch is one way that he does it. Goes up, spears the football, hauls it in. Absolutely amazing. How much strength does that take? And you mentioned it, 5'10", the guys catch it one-handed don't have to be 6'3" or more. They can be Antonio Brown's height if they work at it.
The Browns take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay,
blitz coming, and down he goes. Uchenna and Wosu got the sack there.
And we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
A run for Nick Chubb. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down.
We know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Third and long for Mayfield. They'll let him go deep for Beckham. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's fourth down. Here's Jamie Gillendown. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. .49-yard punt, 5 on the return. And the Raiders will take over now, first and 10. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
14 yards is the pickup there, and a Raider first.
14 yards.
They'll run on first down. Jacobs. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. And this is going to be incomplete. It was Bryce Callahan jarring the ball free defensively.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
You're right, they have had no room to breathe. Here's Carr to throw. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Browns drive about to get started. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. Chubb. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Mayfield now. He's going to look for Beckham in the end zone. And it's intercepted at the goal line. LaMarcus Joyner with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's going deep for Brown. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in. Well, this secondary has done such a good job of frustrating these receivers tonight. Another example right there on the deep ball.
Sometimes when the sun goes down and it's just the bright lights in the stadium, there's a little extra spring in their step, doesn't it? And that's what we're seeing from the defenders. Doesn't matter whether it's man or zone, deep ball, short ball. And that was a deep one there. They're making plays on the football, contesting everything.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. To throw, it's Carr. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now Carr. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Now Landry. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10.
You can't hang.
They hand off to their big tight end. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. And the Raiders call on a nickel set for 3rd down.
Alert! Mike 56! Mike 56! Orbit!
From the gun, Mayfield. He finds Beckham, complete. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
Here we go!
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
You.
1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10.
Hey, wahoo! They're not ready for this, man.
Now Mayfield. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Hey, here we go. Watch the pass.
Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb. And a good job by the Raider defense yet again as they drop him for a 2nd straight loss. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Following the penalty, Chubb. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
You can't block me. You can't block me.
Mayfield with a quick fire to Landry. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down.
And that's when it's fun to play defense. When you're able to diagnose a play right from the beginning, get all your guys to the football, and spill the play, that's when you have a lot of fun playing on that side of the ball.
Push him back. Hey. Protein spill. Shit. Begin. Point it right. You draw quarters.
On 3rd down, here's Lindsey. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. Odell Beckham, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Seibert on for the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
The Raiders take over 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
On 2nd down, here's Crowell. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down. The Raiders on third down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. He gets it to Brown. Complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A Raider first down, 17 yards.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
On second down now. Crowell, and he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a first down on a gain of 10 from the 32 now. Here's 1st and 10. Working from the gun, it's Carr. That is caught at the 7. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal as they look to punch in a late score. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. That's complete right around the 8. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. And yet again, this run game just continues to be completely shut off.
Completely stymied. I mean, they're trying to get some consistency, trying to find places to roam. They just haven't been there throughout this game.
Maybe one final chance here to make this a bit more respectable as he'll go for it on 4th and goal. Here's Carr. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Raiders make some inroads here on that deficit.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And he takes off with it. It's a fake. And this fake extra point attempt failed big time. Not only did they not get it, they went backwards. So it would no doubt be a miracle comeback from here, but let's see what they can do starting with the onside kick. And the Browns are able to cover this one up. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Well, the lead late in the 4th, but Mayfield's going to throw it. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it was real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds left to go. Here's Jamie Gillen now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And that will go out of the back of the end zone. Way too much mustard. Not a good punt, and it will come out to the 20. The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on second and a couple. Carr. This will be caught by Brown. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now the Raiders going to burn their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Carr now to throw. Got a man. It's Brown. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Antonio Brown. His second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Raiders get a score closer. So now Carr, he'll lead the Raiders up to go for two. They'll try to run it with Jacobs. And he's going to get in for the score. And the lead now cut to 14. They get the conversion. And, Charles, when you only have 2 yards to go, what do you think of the toss play? Because initially it kind of sets you back a little bit.
It does, especially if you get a lot of pressure coming towards you. But if you can get to the edge, if you seal the edge with your blocking, often your tackle or your tight end on what they call the play side where the ball goes, you can get to the corner, and that allows those big guys to get out ahead of the runner.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard line. Mayfield. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Mayfield now from the 50. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And this one wasn't easy. You had an East Coast team, Charles, going west, playing a night game, but somehow they were able to get the job done.
Yeah, when you talk about playing a night game, they're closer to being sleepy because of East Coast time with their bodies when you're kicking off to play the game. So that's a real big accomplishment for them to get that done. The flip side, too, is traveling home. In the old days, you had to wait to get the video for your next game. You had all those. So you were really a day behind. Now the video's on their computers as they get on the plane to head back. So they can get a lot of work done on the plane while they celebrate.
It's going to be a long red eye, but as you said, a celebratory red eye back home. So for the Browns, it's a dream start. 2 wins in 2 early road games. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week where they take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.